So hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Learn with Rishi. So in the previous videos, we have discussed about what is a data type and how to create a database, how to use that database, how to create tables inside a database, how to alter the table, how to insert the values inside a table. So all these things we have discussed in the previous videos. So in the today's video, we are going to talk about updation, how to update a table, then how to delete a table, what is the difference between delete command, truncate command, and drop command. Then we are also going to study about the select command and the where clause, and difference between the select star and select a particular column. So these all things we are going to learn today. Let's get started with the today's video. So in the previous videos, we have already created databases like college database and school database. So we'll just use now one of that database. Let's say use my college database, college DB. So you can see here, this is my college database. In this, we have different tables, courses, courses one, departments, enrollment, student marks. Let's say I want to use the students table. So let's describe the students table, what it has. Students table describe. So currently my student table has these many columns: profile URL, student ID, name, email, age, phone, LinkedIn URL, GitHub URL. So let's use this table. So I'm just using the select command, select star from students. Okay. So what I get here is there are total 7 records here. Student ID, name, email, age. Okay. So now today what I'm going to show you is how to use insert and select statement together. So let's say I want to create one more table. Create table student backup. And in this table, I want only some fields, just student ID, name, email, age. So only these 4 things I want. So create table student backup. And let's add some columns here. Let's say it has student ID int, and it is auto increment and also primary. Then let's say I have a name, varchar 100. Let's say I have an email, varchar 150. And let's say I have also age, tiny. Okay, so these many columns I want in this student backup table. So let's execute. So table is created. Now currently, if I select star from student backup, there are no records inside this table because we have not inserted any values. So it's showing null. No records are there. So what I want is I want to insert records in the student backup table from another table. So from another table means I want to insert the record from the student tables. So in the students table, we have the student ID, name, email, age. So these all 4 columns records I want to insert in the student backup table. So how to insert that? So we have for that, we have to use insert and select command together. So what we are going to do is insert into. So in which table we have to insert student backup? Insert into student backup. We have to insert the student ID, comma name, comma email, comma age. So these all 4 columns we have to insert. From where we have to insert? From the students table. For that, we are going to select this particular 4 columns from students table. So if we execute this command together, now if I select star from student backup, you can see this, all the records which were there in the students table, it get copied into the student backup table. So this is how we can insert records from one table to another table using insert and select both the statements together. So I hope you understood about this. We'll also have some discussion regarding how to update a value inside a table. So how to update a value inside a table? Let's say I'm the select star from student backup table only. So in this table, I want to now update this email of the student ID 3. It is currently null. So how I'm going to update? So update, then what is the table name? Let's say student backup. Update student backup. Set the email is equals to, let's say, pqr123 @gmail.com. This is some email. Where I have to update this? Where the student ID is equal to 3. So when the student ID equal to 3, set this email to pqr123 @gmail.com and update this in the table. This is the syntax. So once updated, now if I do select star from student backup, now what you can see here, that particular email is get updated. Now if I run select star from students, in this table, that particular email is null. So that means if you copy one data from one table to another table using insert and select statements, if you update the table, one table, it will not get updated in the another table. Okay. So this is also one point to be noted. Okay, so we have learned about how to update a table also. Now what we will do is, here in this case we have used the where clause. What if I update without using the where clause? It means update student backup set, let's say I'm going to update age is equals to 18, and I'm not going to use the where clause. Here I'm not going to give the condition for which particular record or which particular row you have to update. I'm only saying update student backup set age is equals to 18. Now if I run this, so what it is saying is error. You are using safe update mode and you try to update a table without a where that uses a key column. Okay. So now by default, your MySQL Workbench is set to safe mode. So what is the meaning of the safe mode? So in the commands such as update or delete, if you did not provide where clause condition, then it will throw you an error. But if the safe mode is disabled, then this command can be run. Now, how to disable this? So for demonstration, I am disabling this. So set SQL safe updates equal to 0. Currently it is 1. Now I'm setting it to 0. Execute. Executed. Now I'll update again. Update student backup set age is equal to 18 without a where clause. If I run this, now it is not throwing an error. 7 rows affected. Now see what the table becomes. So select start from student backup. Now you can see here the age column for all the records, it has become 18, 18, 18, 18. So what this command did is it updated the age value of all the records to 18. So this is not suitable, right? So if we by mistakenly run this command, then our all data will get lost and all data will, since here, so here my all data has got lost. So for the student one, whatever was the age, now I have no data. The previous data is not there. So I've lost my data. That's why it is very important that whenever you update a table or delete any value, so for this command, you have to always specify a condition for which row you have to update. If you have not specified, it will update to all the rows. That's why there is one there is something called as SQL safe updates, which is by default set to true. That means if you run this command without a where clause, it will throw in an error. But if the SQL safe update is set to 0 and is false, then then it will not throw you the error. So make sure that the SQL safe update is always set to 1. I'm setting it to 1. Okay. So I hope you understood about the update command and the SQL safe updates. Now we'll go ahead with the delete command. So delete with where. So delete with where. So let's say I have to delete from a particular table. So let's say delete from, let's say table name is student backup. Student backup is a table name. Then I have to provide one where condition. So if we do not provide this where condition, uh, all rows will get deleted. Okay, what I'm saying is if I don't provide this where condition and I simply run this, my all rows will get deleted. If I provide a where condition, that particular condition applicable rows will be deleted. So let's say I'm saying where delete from student backup where student ID is greater than 5. So all the student ID greater than 5 will be deleted. So let's execute this, executed. Now if I select start from student backup, so now you can see here, total I have 7 records, but the last 2 records are deleted when the student ID was 6 and 7. So this is how it worked. Okay. Now what if I have not used a where condition? If I have not used this where condition, what will happen? Delete from student backup. If I execute, then let's see what is the error. You are using a safe update mode and you try to update a table without where. So since we have set this SQL safe updates to 1, again it is throwing an error. You cannot delete this because your safe update is set. So you have to use a where clause there. Okay. So if your safe update is set to 1, then we cannot directly delete all the rows. So you can do here where student ID is greater than 1, greater than equal to 1. Then also all the rows will get deleted. Okay. But for that you have to use this where clause. If you don't want to use this where clause and delete, then set this SQL safe updates to 0. But this is a very bad practice. So whenever you do this commands update and delete command, it is the good practice is that you specify a condition that is a where clause. Okay. Okay, now let's move ahead. So let's say I want to insert some data here. So let's say insert into student backup, or let's say student insert into students in the students table. So basically what we have in the students table, these main things we have. Let's say I'm going to insert only student ID, name, email, and age. So let's say I'm going to insert the name, email, and age. Because the ID is auto increment, it will get the value. Let's say my values are, let's say, then email, and then age. Okay, one more data I will insert. Okay, let's insert the data with no email. So let's say null. One more data I will insert. Okay, again I'm putting email as null and age here. Okay, let's have inserted these two datas. Now if I do select star from students. So what is the output? So you can see the two datas are inserted here, 8 and 9, but the emails are null because I'm given the value as null. I've inserted the email as null. Okay. Now let's say I have to delete the students whose values are null. So how to delete students with no email? So what is the problem here? Delete students with no email. So there are students with no email, right? So what you will do, student, select student ID, name, comma, email from students table, where email is null, where email is null. So from this clause, what where I will get that student, I will get that students from the table students where the email is null, where the email is null. So when I run this, I will get all the 3 students whose email are null. Okay. I want to delete this. So these 3 students I want to delete. So how will delete? So delete from table students where email is null. I hope you understood how we have wrote the command here. Email is null. It means that wherever the email value is null, select that students. And similarly, I have to delete now. So instead of this select, I will use the delete from students command where email is null. So if I run this, then execute it. Now if I run this again, now it will not show you any data because we have deleted all the student. So here there is no student exists now whose email is null. Okay. So I hope you understood this. Okay. Now the very most important interview question here is what is a delete command? What is a truncate command? And what is a drop command? So very, very important question. Delete, truncate, and drop. Okay. So I have already told you about the delete command, what it does. So when you execute a delete command, it will delete the rows. So in the delete command, what it will do? It will delete the rows. Specified rows. It will delete the rows. The rows can be all rows or a specific rows as per the given condition. Now let's explore about a truncate command. Truncate command. What does truncate command? Okay. The truncate command, it deletes all the rows at once. What delete command do? It will also delete the rows, but it will delete one by one depending upon the condition because we are using there a where clause. But for a truncate, we don't have to use a where clause here. Okay. So let's say I want to create a table. Create table truncate demo. Okay. Here I'm going to insert some values. Oh, sorry, the columns. Let's say ID, int, primary key, auto increment. Then I'm going to use name, varchar 150. Okay. And one more, let's say score in. So these are the three columns that I have inserted. So let's create this table. Okay, created, table is created. Now I'm going to insert some values inside this table. So insert into truncate demo values. Let's say I want to insert multiple values. So let's say alpha, comma 85. I'm going to only insert the name and the score. So here I want to specify that I'm inserting the name, comma the score. Okay. Let's say beta, comma 87. Let's say gamma, comma 84. And one more data I will insert, let's say delta, comma 76. So these four records I have inserted. Okay, inserted. Done. Now what I will do is we'll just select star from truncate demo. Select star from truncate demo. You can see all these records. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four records are there. Okay. Now I want to give you demonstration regarding how delete and truncate command works. Let's say I want to delete from truncate demo, delete from this table. Okay. What this command will do? Delete from truncate demo. This will delete all the records. But if I've set the updates to 0, set SQL updates to 0, then it will delete all the records. So let's say I want to delete all the records. So delete from truncate demo, where let's say my ID is greater than 1. I've used a where clause where ID is greater than equal to 1. It means it will delete all the records. Okay. So I'm executing this. Okay. Now if I select star from truncate demo, there are no records in the table. Now what I will do is I will insert one record, insert into truncate demo, name, comma, score, let's say values, new row, comma, let's say 87. So this I am going to insert. Now I will just select star from truncate demo. See what you can see, what you have observed here. You can see here before deleting, I had 4 rows inside the table. ID was 1, 2, 3, 4 auto incremented. After deletion, after I've deleted all the four rows, now inserting a new value, then what is the ID now? 5. So it did not start from 1. It started from where he left. So the last record was 4. Now it become 5. So this is one. Please keep a note on this particular point. Now what I will do is I will demonstrate you with the truncate command. Truncate. Okay. Now I'm going to insert into again one more record. I will insert truncate demo. Insert into truncate demo. Name comma score values. Let's say uh, new row two, new row 2 comma let's say 76. Okay, I have inserted. So one more value I've inserted. Now select start from truncate demo. Now the ID will be 6. Okay, is it fine? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is truncate. I'm going to use now the truncate command instead of delete command. So this is a very important point. Please understand it. So truncate table, truncate demo. So this is the syntax. For the delete command, what was the syntax? Delete from the table name where condition. For the truncate, we don't use the where condition. Delete command deletes the rows. This also deletes the rows, but this truncate deletes all the rows at once. So that's why we don't use where condition here. And that's syntax is truncate table and the table name. So if I execute this, it is executed. Now if I do select star from truncate demo, there is no records inside the table. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert the record now. Let's say I'm going to insert the same record. So let's say inserted. Inserted. Now when I deleted the table, that time when I insert a new record, the ID was 5. Auto increment was done. Now if I do select star from truncate demo, now the ID is 1. So the counter is fully reset and freshly start. Very, very important point. So now the counter that was auto increment fully reset and fresh start is there. Okay. So I hope you noticed this and I have demonstrated you actually how it happened. So when we use the delete command, the counter did not got reset. But if you use a truncate and then insert into the table, the counter got reset. So this is the difference between the delete command and the truncate command. Okay, now we'll understand more about drop command. What is a drop command? Let's revise. What delete command do? It deleted the rows. Truncate command also deleted the rows. In delete command, the counter was not reset, but in truncate command, the counter got reset. Also in delete command, we use where clause. In truncate command, we do not use where clause. It deletes all the rows at once. What does drop command do? It will delete the rows, but it will delete a table also. Entire structure will get deleted. So when I say drop table, truncate demo. So when I write this particular statement, drop table truncate demo, before you executing this, let's say I'm going to show you show tables command. We have already learned what this show tables command do. It shows you all the tables in the particular chosen database. So we have here now these many tables, courses 1, departments, and truncate demo is also there. Now I'm running this drop table truncate demo. Executed. Now let's see show tables. The table is not visible now. The table no longer exists now. So drop command, what it does, it deletes the records, but it also deletes the table. There is no table now existing. So all our structure got deleted. All the columns got deleted. Now we can't insert new rows inside that table because that table is no longer existing. So this is the difference between the drop command and delete command and truncate command. Now we will understand what we have learned till now with this examples. So we have learned how to insert, add a new rows, add a multiple rows. And also we have learned how to insert using a select command. That is just copying one table's data to another table. Then we have also learned how to update with where condition. What happens if you do not use the update without where condition? So this will update all the rows. And we have also discussed about the something called as set SQL update, right? So if it is true, then it will throw you always the error that you have to use the where command while using update command or delete. Next thing what we have learned, this is the most important thing, that is the delete versus truncate versus drop. So what does delete command do? It deletes row by row. It can use where clause, slower for large tables, auto increment value is not reset, can be rolled back. This will this we will learn when we uh, can be rolled back. So this particular concept we will learn by learning the transactions. What is a truncate command? It removes all rows instantly. No where clause is required. It is faster than delete. Auto increment value is reset. It cannot be rolled back. And drop command, it removes the entire table structure, the data, the constraints, the indexes, everything is deleted. The table is no longer existing and it cannot be rolled back. So this is the major difference between delete command, truncate command, and a drop command. So I hope you are clear with all these things. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is we'll again go to MySQL Workbench. Now what I will do, I'll create table, page views. Okay, page views, some table. Let's say inside that table, I have some columns such as page name, varchar, 100. Let's say it is my primary key. Then view count, let's say int, and default I am setting it to 1. Okay. And last view. So here it will be timestamp. Timestamp default will be current timestamp. Okay. And on update, also current timestamp. This you have already learned how to what is timestamp, etc. Now just creating this table executed. Now I've created this table. Now what I will do is uh, insert some values into it. So insert into page views. Insert into page views. Let's say I want to insert the page name, comma the view count. Other things are default. So values, let's say home, comma 1. Okay. Now I'm going to show you something known as demonstrating you something known as duplicate key update. What is on duplicate key update? So let's now start into selection. Select star from page views. Now I've inserted only one data, right? So you can see here, just a minute, I have not inserted or what? Inserted, right? Now select star from page views. So you can see one record is inserted, page name, view count, and last one. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert one more record, insert into page views, page name I'm going to insert, and also the view count. Values. What are the values? Let's say I'm going to insert same, 4, comma 1. But here I'm going to use something called as on duplicate key update. On duplicate key update, view count, on duplicate key, update the view count plus 1. What this command does, update the view count plus 1. What this command does, okay, view update a view count is equal to, means new view count is equals to view count plus 1. This is my expression basically. So you can see here now, earlier also, now what is my key here? Primary key is page name. I've already inserted one value with home. Again, I'm inserting one value with home. Earlier, the view count was 1. Again, my home page name is home. It is a duplicate. The key is duplicate. So on duplicate key, update the view count to earlier view count plus 1. Now it will become 2. So how this will work, if I try to insert this, it will not insert one more record, but it will update the view count to 1 because my keys are same, duplicate. Keys are duplicate. My key is the page name and page name I have already inserted once. Now if I do select start from page views, you can see here the record is only 1, but the view count is updated. And the last view updated is the current timestamp. That's why I've used here. The timestamp is for the first record, it will be default, and on update, it will be the current timestamp. So I hope it is clear how we have used the on duplicate key update. Now what I will do is, what if multiple visits at once? Let's say multiple visit. Here we have only visited the home page. Now if I have visited another pages also, let's say insert into page views, page name, comma the view counts. View count. Values I have to insert. So let's say I have different values. Let's say I have visited home page. So view count will be 1 once I have visited. Then I have visited about page 1, and I have also visited the contact page. Contact page 1. Now what it will do? If I only run this, it will insert another records and it will show an error that already a duplicate key exists. Let's say I'm inserting this. There is an error. Duplicate entry home for key page exists. It is a primary key and primary key does not have a duplicate values. So if I don't want this error and I have to increment the view count, what I can do is so on duplicate key, update the view count. Update the view count is equals to view count plus 1. Now the error will not come about the duplicate key because when there is a duplicate key, update the view count to 1. Now for about, there is no duplicate key, so it will create a new record. For contact, it will create a new record. But when there is a duplicate key, it will update the view count. So if I insert this, accepted. Now if I select, you can see here 3 records now. One is for the home, one is for the contact, and one is for the about. And the duplicate key home, its view count is now incremented by 1. Earlier it was 2, now it is 3. Okay. I hope you understood this. Now the next concept here we have is about the select statement. You already know from the day 1, lecture 1, we are using this command that is select. What it is used for to display the table, select star from page view. So what it will do, it will just select that table and display that table. It is page views. Okay, it is a simple command. Now we'll try to understand what is this star. What is the difference between select star and select column, particular column. Okay, select star versus select columns. Now what does select star will do? Select star will fetch all the columns which are there in the table. So here, if I do select star page views, it is fetching all the columns, all the 3 columns. But if I insert a specific column, let's say I'm inserting select view count from page views, from page views. So here it will not display as all the 3 columns. It will only display the view count column. Okay, so this is the difference between select star and select columns. Okay, now why it matters exactly? So very first point, performance. Performance. Now let's say you have 30 columns. 30 columns in a table, and there is an application which only needs 3 columns out of that. So if you select star, You're fetching all the 30 columns, but you require only three. So what happens? You're fetching that 27 other columns which you don't require for every single query. Because of that, your bandwidth gets wasted, memory gets wasted, and the time also gets large. So slower response time. This is what performance. Second thing, second parameter here, it is about fragility. What is fragility? Let's say if someone adds a new column, and so what happens, your application will suddenly gets that new column which was never written to handle. So there will be some unexpected breaks, things will happen. Okay. And the third point is about clarity. When you write select star, there is no clarity. What that star, what are the different columns? But if you mention a particular column, let's say select name, age, grade, it tells us that exactly what this query returns or what this query tells you about. So it is preferable, always preferable to use only those columns which you actually need. Now we are going to discuss about something called as where clause. Okay, so you already know what does where clause do. We have already used it for select statements. We already use it for delete, update. So all these things were already used. But let us actually go in depth of it. So basically, what is where clause? It is basically a filter. Without it, the select will return on every row. But if you don't want every row, we want to apply some filters. That that work is done by where clause. Okay. So if you want some rows for your matching conditions, then you use where clause. So let's say select. First, let's see what are select star from students. I'm using this table. So I have now here student ID, name, email, age. Let's say I want all the students age about 20. So how I'm going to select? Select name, comma, age from students. Where, and I'm applying a filter. Where age, I want age about 20, so greater than 20. This is a filter. If I run this, I'm only going to get that names of students and age are about 20. So this is acting as something called as a filter. It's a filter, okay. Now, what are things we can do with this where clause? We can have equality and inequality, equality and inequality. What do you mean by equality and inequality? So if I want to run this for same example, let's say I want a student with age exactly equal to 20. Then this is nothing but where clause using the equality. So where age is exactly 20, that students will be retrieved. Now I want age is not equal to 120. So for not equal to, use explanation equal to, that is not equal to 20. That is inequality. Okay. So this is equal, not equal. So where age is not equal to 20, that students will display whose age is not equal to 20. Okay. One more way to write this is like this. This is also not equal. Same result you will get. You can see this. I'm just copying this result, comma, this result. So here what you got the result for ABC, Arjun, Rahul, Vikram. And if you're using this particular syntax, then also same result you got. So this is both used for not equal. Next thing it comes is greater than, less than, greater than or less than. That we have already used here. If age is greater than 20 or if age is less than 20. So these are the filters we can use. If it's less than 20, you're getting the answer. Okay. Next thing that we can use here is between. Between. What does this between do? Between inclusive range. Inclusive range. Let's say I'm going to write now where age between 18 and 20, 18 and 20. It means between is inclusive range. It means it will include 18 also, 20 also, and all the things that comes between 18 and 20. So when we run it, see what is the output you get. So you get 19, 20, 20. So you get 20 also, that is included in this 20. You get between 19, which is between 18 and 20. Since there is no record with 18, you will not get, here 18 is not fetched. So I hope you understood about between, that is inclusive range. Okay. Okay, now we'll learn something related to and or not. This one. For that, I'm going to use a table related to courses which I already created in the previous session. So that was select star from courses. What all things we have here? So we have course ID, course name, duration, is active, difficulty, created at. So these are columns we have. So now what I'm going to do is select course name from the courses table. From the courses table, where let's say difficulty is equals to advanced and duration hours, duration is greater than 45. So what does AND keyword do? It will check whether this condition, that is difficulty advanced, and this condition both are true, then only it will select that particular course name. Even if one of them is false, it will not select that course name. So if I run this query, I will get only that course whose difficulty is advanced and also the duration is greater than 45. So this is a use of AND keyword. Now let's say I'm going to copy the same. Now here what I'm going to do is instead of AND, I will write OR. OR means either this should be true or this should be true or both should be true. No matter. But both should not be false. One of them should be true or both should be true. So if I select now I'm getting SQL. Why I'm getting SQL? Because there will be no record for whom. Okay. So what I will do is I will just write here difficulty beginner or duration is greater than 45 hours. Let's say duration is greater than 30 hours. Now you can see I have got a course. So for clear understanding, I will display the duration hours also. Duration hours, comma the difficulty also. Now if I run this, okay. Now you can see this for the SQL course, the difficulty is advanced. But I want a beginner, means this condition is false. Difficulty beginner false. But duration is greater than 30, yes. So this is true. That's why it is displayed. For the Python basics, both the conditions are true. That's why it is displayed. For JavaScript foundation, only one condition is true. That is duration hours is greater than 40. That's why it is displayed. So I hope you understood about this OR keyword and the AND keyword. Now the next is a NOT keyword. What does NOT do? It is basically the reverse the condition. Let's say select course name from courses where not difficulty equals to beginner. It means select such courses whose difficulty is not beginner. So rest all courses will be selected. So let's say I'm going to display the difficulty also here. If I select, I will get all the courses whose difficulty is not beginner. So all the apart from beginner, whichever course is there, that all course I will get advanced and intermediate. I will not get the beginner course. So what is the use of this not keyword? If I not use this not keyword, then it will give only the beginner course. If I use this not keyword, apart from this, whichever course is there, it will give me. So this is basically reverse the condition. Is used for reversing the condition. Now, whatever we have learned now here, equality, inequality, greater than, less than, then and or between. This you can use by combining. Any combination you can do and use it. Okay. So let's say you can write like this also. Select a course name, comma, difficulty from the courses. Where, let's say I want one condition as like this, where difficulty, where difficulty equals to advanced and duration hours equal greater than 45. This is my one condition. Or duration hours is less than 40, like this. These are my two conditions. Now how this will work, it will see whether this condition is true or this condition is true, then it will result. If this condition is false and this condition is true, then also it will give result, because here we have or. But in this particular bracket, it will see both these condition are true. If both these condition are true, then only this whole condition is true. So this is how we can write here. Okay. Okay, there will be no bracket here. If I run this command, we'll get an answer SQL advanced. Because it was advanced, let's see how, for which condition it become true. So let's say select star from courses. Our condition was for SQL, difficulty is advanced, yes, and duration is greater than 45, yes, true, and duration is less than 40, false. But this was true. True or false will give us true. That's why the post got displayed. Okay, now we'll revise what we have done. So select command, we fetch what select star does, it fetches all columns from the table. It is returns every column, more data transfer. That makes it a slower performance and use when you need all columns. For a specific columns only, you need to use select and write the specific column names. It will return only the selected columns. There will be less data transfer. It is faster performance, best practice. So in the where clause, what all things we discussed today is about the comparison operators between and. Then we also discuss about and or not. Okay. And had some examples. In the next video, we will see what is in and not in keyword, is null and is not null. What is this like with percentage and underscore. All these things we will see in the next video. If you found this today's video helpful and if you like the content, do like the video, share the video and subscribe the channel for more such videos. And yes, thank you. Keep learning.